Hello. For this project I wanted to do something steampunk. I've made a few pieces that were inspired by the steampunk aesthetic, and I like the juxtaposition of modern technology and old-timey feel. I chose to do a set of steampunk computer speakers for a few reasons, because I love the old gramophone horns. I have a set of crappy sounding computer speakers laying around, and I wanted to challenge myself by working with a soldering iron. So I went scrounging around and to the Goodwill and the hardware store, and this is the stuff I came up with. I have a tabletop photo box that looks like it's never been used, but it's been sitting around rubbing up against other things for years, I suppose. I got these two plastic but glass looking, I don't know, goblets, vases. They're small. They're fairly light, and those are going to be my horns. I got an old bike light for the light bulb, some PVC plumbing fittings, and from the hardware store, some sandpaper and some spray paint. And of course my crappy computer speakers also. First, there were some scuffs on the box that I wanted to clean the box up a little bit before I got started. It has a red finish, so the scuffs are lighter. I decided to use a little bit of red and a little bit of brown magic marker on them to make them blend a little bit better with the rest of the surface, and that should be good enough. I didn't want this to look brand new, and that seems to have worked pretty well. The box looks acceptable to me. I'm going to go ahead and open it up here, and we have a little swing tab panel that holds the piece of glass that for the photo display in the top of the box. I'm just going to pull that out. I've cut a piece from an old book cover. It has a nice cloth finish on it. It should look really nice through the top of the box, and that'll be the base for my horns and the other things on the top. They didn't have any black PVC fittings at the Goodwill. They only had a few pieces of the white stuff that I've got here. This is kind of ugly, and it's got sharp edges that are going to have the paint come off of them. I bought black spray paint so I can make these black, and I'm going to alter them a little bit. I'm going to round these edges and round the tabs on two of them and remove the tabs from the other two and get them all ready for painting. And here they are. They look pretty nice now, I think. They should take paint well. They're smoothed off. The backs are still pretty ugly. These are the stems that will go through the top of the box from the inside and should be able to fit far enough up into the elbow on top to hold the cones firmly against the top. I'll have to mark these and cut them. And here are the pieces. These are just long enough to fit up into the elbows and hold them firmly against the lid. And this is pretty much what it's going to look like, except of course it'll be painted black. There'll be a couple of other attachments up on top here, but I'll accept this. It looks pretty good. And here's the circuit board for the speakers. I'm going to have to lengthen one speaker wire and take some out of the other so that they can both reach to the top of the box and not have a bunch of extra wire inside the box cluttering things. So I've removed the extra loop of wire from one speaker, and I've got a length of it cut out to lengthen the wire on the other one, so they should be at the same length when I'm all done. Here's the speaker and about 6 inches of wire, which should be enough. And I'll take this length of wire here and use it to extend the reach of this speaker a little bit. And here's the setup with both speakers attached with equal lengths of wire. This set of speakers has a soldered on line-in jack, so I've desoldered that from the card, and I'll poke that through the hole in the box and resolder it when I get to that point. And there's the little blue LED. I'm going to have to extend that wire by about 8 inches to reach as far as I want to go. So I just snip that off. And now I need to desolder the volume knob, the volume pot, from the card and attach 6 little pieces of wire that can come back and solder into the holes that are left in the card. This is so that I can extend it a little bit and have it come out a hole in the side of the box. Here's how it's soldered onto the back of the board. And here's the volume pot desoldered from the board. Just doing it in a cut like that makes it seem like it was easy. We'll run with that, yeah. Now there are wires soldered into all the little holes that are left by the volume pot where I desoldered it from the card, and they're ready to be soldered to the potentiometer so that it can go through the hole in the side of the box. And here they are, all soldered together and ready to go. And here it is, all plugged in and being tested. Everything's connected and seems to be working the way it's supposed to be. On to the next step. This is a funky old light bulb from a funky old bike light, and I'm going to desolder the base of it and clean out the inside of the bulb, and I'm going to insert that little blue LED to give it a more old-timey look. And here's the empty glass bulb, and I can fit that right into the old shoulders so that it will look really nice on the top of the box. And this is roughly how it'll look when it's in place. Not too bad so far. The Goodwill had a microscope that was missing its eyepiece that I got for about $1. I'm going to use the little mirror underneath for reflecting light through the slides, and I'm going to use that behind the little bulb with the LED in it on top of the box, just for a more unique look. It's a cute little mirror, and it should actually add to the visual appeal when I get it put in place. There it is in position. Before I put the LED into it and test it, I'm going to have to drill some holes in the box. So now I've got appropriate holes, one in the side of the box and one in the back for the power cord and the line in. And here's the box itself assembled with the LED in place. Let's close the lid and see how it looks. Okay, so the box is pretty much assembled, and it's just down to the elbows and horns and the power knob on the side. So that means it's time for spray paint. I'm going to use this piece of paper to keep from getting spray paint all over the walk, and give it a couple of coats. And there's the box with the black elbows in place, the LED light on, a little mirror underlining it. Looks pretty good. I'm getting enchanted with this thing. It's going to look pretty cool when it's done. So it's on to extensive modifications of these vases to make the gramophone horns for the top. I'm going to have to remove material from around the edge of the bases to get them to fit into the collars of the elbow, and I'll need to also drill down through the stem, which is about 7/8 of an inch thick, and open a channel for the sound to come through. So I've got the right size hole saw to cut the discs out of the bases that'll fit and bolt these onto the elbows. And here they are with the bases cut and the stems drilled, and they're ready to be cleaned up a little bit and bolted on. So I'll stick them through the collars like this, and once I thread those in place, I think that's pretty close to what I was shooting for with this project. Let me plug it in and see what it looks like with the light on. Perfect. It's time for the sound test, I think. Just remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving. Well, that's about what I wanted it to sound like. I think it's a successful project. Thanks for watching.